Wait a second, we just got set 1, and then just like that, now we're getting set 2 cards revealed? Well, we're going to be taking a look at what those cards were that got revealed, why they got revealed, and what's even going on with this new set Spiritforged when we literally just got Origins. All of that and more starting right now. So just like that, we got 18 cards, and it was really interesting because I was sitting at my locals just playing my own games, you know, and enjoying my Nexus night when all of a sudden I was noticing the Utah Riftbound Discord was blowing up at a expendous rate. And with that, I was like, whoa, what's going on? And cards were revealed. And while my friend was also in another game, I was showing him the cards because I was just so excited. And we were kind of baffled that they were already revealing cards. And a lot of people seem like that they are. Well, the big thing is, and the unfortunate thing, while this game's only been out for 2 weeks, what's actually going to end up happening is because since China is, 2 months ahead of us, they're going to start getting their reveals literally a month after, or like a couple weeks after our set 1, or our set 2 in this case as well, is going to be released. And that's going to be the case until we all line up on the 3rd set. Now, they did say that the 3rd set should be the one that lines us all up accordingly to where, it's going to be a really quick one to come out for China, a normal one to come out for us, potentially like April-ish. We're estimating on that. We don't know exactly, but it's going to be a smaller set that is going to line everyone up then equally, so these kinds of reveals won't happen from set 3 on. And that's going to be a really nice part about this. But for the meantime, that's going to mean that we are going to be getting cards revealed. And this is exactly what happened in set 1 in America, but a lot of you probably weren't there. But what happened once or twice a week, we would start to get cards revealed, 3 to 5 cards a time. And Piltover Archive and sites like that, Willow would immediately update Tabletop Simulator just so we could go ahead and test. It was a matter of just going in and, we were so excited to play this game. Online tournaments even started as soon as there was like 20 cards revealed outside of the additional trial decks that we were all playing. And so the same thing is going to be happening here, even though the game is only 2 weeks out. And I mean, I've seen a lot of the comments on those videos where they're like, we can't even experience set 1 and you're already revealing set 2. It's gonna get better a little bit later. That's gonna be the big thing here. Now, what are these cards that were revealed by Riot? Well, here we go. This is what we are looking at, and it's really interesting to be able to see all 18 of these cards, and we're going to be going into them one by one. Now, for those of you who didn't see the launch video of Spiritforged here, Dave talks a lot about what goes on here with Chengrin, and it's going to be interesting because it's luckily only about a 5-minute video, and a minute of that is literally them mocking up a gameplay. Now, with that, they do go into what each kind of new mechanic means and what they're going to have in store, and there's even some mechanics that haven't necessarily been revealed yet. So this is going to be a very interesting month for us as we continue to go through these cards. First and foremost, it looks like this set is going to have 221 cards, not of course counting overnumbered, and so that's going to be something to keep in mind with all of this. And so it's going to be fun to see what continues to go, because it looks like they're already blowing up, the meta that we thought we knew, and man, is it going to get crazy fast. So first and foremost, I mean, again, these are the 18 cards that we have, and we are going to be starting off with Draven. Now, of course, we already have a red Draven in set 1 here. And he's a really good Draven at that, being able to get a might per victory point that you have. Well, Draven here is pretty much going to be making treasure tokens for those of you who have played Magic the Gathering. So it says, when I win a combat, play a gold token exhausted. When I attack or defend, you may recycle a red, and if you do, give me +2 might this turn. Now, that's going to be the big thing. When I attack or defend, that's going to be as soon as a showdown starts, you can go ahead and recycle that to get +2. So that can be something that your opponent needs to plan around in this case. And so with that, this is what a gold token is able to do. It's going to allow you to then go ahead and recycle, or, you know, in the place of a gold token here. So, you know, something that you do have to spend, you're not going to be able to get additional mana, but you are going to be able to pay the recycle cost. And that's going to be really interesting too, because the first time when I saw something like this start to happen with all the equipments and how you equip the equipments, which we'll get into in a second, I was like, holy crap, the seals are going to go through the roof. And it doesn't necessarily look like that's going to be completely the case, but more so just maybe part of the case, because luckily with like gold and stuff like that, that's going to take the place of power costs here, which is going to, you know, mitigate such a need on what you would normally see for the seals in this case. So really fun to see. And again, we're already getting an alt art Draven. Really good job. Love the, you know, light coming off of him in this case. And it's going to be really interesting to be able to see how that goes. But I mean, he's going to be a really good card. Now, next, of course, we got Longsword, which is going to be really interesting as well. Now, there's a new mechanic here, which is Quick Draw, meaning that you can play this at reaction speed. So even after, you know, you happen to go ahead and like they don't play an action, or you play an action or whatnot, and they react with their reaction, you can go ahead and play Quick Draw as a reaction speed to be able to add to your unit. And of course, in this case, you are going to be able to add +2 might to your unit, and it is a gear. Now, the big thing about gear here, and that we know, is that when it is equipped to a unit and that unit dies, the gear stays. It does not go away with the opponent, and it looks like that's already been confirmed on the Riftbound main Discord as well. So that's going to be really interesting to see. And gear destruction, I think, is going to become even more prevalent depending on how much this is, because they're going all in on the gear. Now, next, of course, they have Doran's Shield, and it is equipped for a recycling of a green, and it also has tank and adding +1. So, you know, for basically 1 in a recycle, or a power in this case, you are able to go ahead and give something tank and +1 in early game. That could be a really big difference maker on being able to hold your battlefields as well. Now, one card that I am absolutely blown away by is going to be Guardian Angel. For 2, you are able to add 1 might by equipping it with recycling a green. And if I would die, kill Guardian Angel instead, heal me, exhaust me, and recall me. So they will go right back to base in that case, and this Guardian Angel would then die. Or, you know, go away. This is what's going to be really interesting here, because if you already have Hourglass, which is already a green card, that's going to be immensely more, you know, insurance on keeping your units alive, which is just going to be absolutely insane to consider. And so this is going to be something really fun to be able to take a look at and see what mechanics that you're able to do. Is this possibly the thing that keeps Leona going, you know, more meta relevance here with all the stuns and everything, and then also Guardian Angel? That's going to be really interesting to see. Of course, it is way too early to tell. Of the 221 cards, we literally only have 18 revealed so far of what they actually do. And so we have a lot to come still, and even new mechanics that have not yet been revealed. And so that's going to be interesting. Next, of course, is going to be Sterok's Gauge. It is a quick draw as well, meaning it can be played at a reaction speed. Can be equipped for a green as well for +3. Now, of course, that is expensive. Look at that. 3 and 2 power in order to go ahead and add +3, though you can go ahead and play it with a quick draw. With quick draw. So that'll be really nice if you're able to get that off, though that is incredibly costly in that case. What's interesting, though, there are a couple of units that do have a new mechanic as well, which is going to be Weapon Master. Now, what this specifically means is that when you play me, you may equip one of your equipment to me for 1 power less, even if it's already attached. The first time I conquer each turn as well, ready me. And so this is Lucian. This, of course, is the alt art. The regular art is down below. And he is going to be really interesting as well to see what that is going to do with all of this. Now, he, of course, is orange. And so orange is going to be able to go with a couple of other things. I'm going to be curious to see what all legends come in color coordination, you know. It's only a matter of time when all the colors are going to be accounted for. And this is going to make for some really fun mechanics with all the interactions. I mean, Lucian could very well be going into set in this case, and set getting some maybe gear upgrades or things of that nature, depending on how all of that goes. But man, again, we're speculating. We only know so much of the set. And of course, another gear or equipment here as well is going to be whatever that Svelsonger. Imagine I say that better. And attach, as this is attached to a unit, copy that unit's text to this equipment's effect text for as long as this is attached to it. So that is for 3 and a power of calm, and it doesn't add any might whatsoever, but I mean, being able to double up on an ability is just absolutely crazy. And again, it's going to be really interesting to see how all of these cards become meta relevant. Again, though, here is the regular Lucian card. Something to keep in mind here. Really love his ability. First time I conquer each turn, ready me. Could be getting some really cool move stuff. Imagine if we also had maybe a purple-orange color combo going on right there. All the movement of purple, and with Lucian being able to ready after conquering, some really crazy stuff. And right next to that, the first orange gear that we are looking at with equipment is Trinity Force. Some people are mad that it says Trinity Force, and there isn't 3 anywhere on the card. Go ahead and sulk at that if you so choose. And it is what it is. But with that, of course, you can still equip for 1 orange in this case, going ahead and playing to be able to add +2 might. So something really interesting, but it cannot be played at reaction speed, but still being able to add +2 might be pretty beneficial. And it's just kind of cool that we are seeing a lot of these items and stuff that we recognize from all of this being able to be in the game now. So really cool to see. Now, of course, Overzealous Fan. When I defend, you may kill me to move an attacking unit to its base. And so again, just a little bit of insurance, kind of an upfront fight or flight in this case. And again, in the chaos color, that's going to be really interesting to be able to see how it interacts. It, of course, is a common in this case, and that's going to be really fun. Seems like, yeah, they are really going in on chaos being a lot of movement, whether that is moving your opponent's units or your own, it's all the same, and you're going to be able to see what is able to be done with that. Now, Blade of the Ruined King. Now, of course, you are going to be able to equip for an Order Rune Recycled, and you are going to kill a friendly unit as well. That's a lot, especially for 3 and recycling and another power cost of order, but you get +4, and that can swing a lot. And I love also just the full art of this card that is going to be foiled at that point, and man, that looks good. They also did a really good job on their full art cards. It's going to be really fun to be able to see what all of that is going to mean and what that will bring. But still, we got more. We finally know what Draven as a legend is going to be able to do. Now, with that being said, when you win a combat, draw 1. Now, of course, you win only if your units remain after combat. Got to state that just to be safe. But still, being able to draw a card off of conquering, especially when red is already going to be as aggressive as it is. You got things like Kaisa, Draven, or not Draven, well, Draven in this case on the new set. Darius is what I actually meant, though, but both. And even able to then go ahead and get so much value off of his legend ability. And that's just when you win a combat. That doesn't say once per turn, just win. So if you go ahead and conquer both, you're going to be able to then get 2 cards at the turn. That is so much value already right there. And so it's going to be insane. And it's red and purple. So the chaos side of this is going to be a whole different dynamic than what we're used to seeing. And man, this is going to be a fun deck. And I am going to be a little scared on what Draven is going to be able to do in this meta. Now, of course, he also gets Spinning Axe, you know, his main weapon of choice. It is a quick draw as well. You can equip for literally any type of power to be able to attach. and it is also temporary. If this is attached, kill it at the start of its controller beginning phase before scoring, and it also adds +3 might, so you can immediately just whip that out and be able to equip it as needed. And of course, with Draven being able to make gold as well, the power costs can become a lot more manageable in this case, and you can surprise your opponent real quick with a lot of these new item cards, or these new equipment cards, excuse me. So I mean, gosh, this is gonna be cool. Now, woohoo! You thought Draven was broken, guys. Blade Dancer Aurelia. Woohoo! This is gonna be good. I'm excited about this because, man, when you choose a friendly unit, you may exhaust me and pay a power cost to ready it. And when you conquer, you may pay one to ready me. Woohoo! Man, there's a lot of things that you can do there. So, I mean, you can choose a friendly unit and ready it. So, I mean, you could just like that, go ahead and really start to shimmy some things in. If you do want to play a Yasuo, you go ahead and play Blade Dancer. You go ahead and ready, you know, with Aurelia's legend ability. You know, he can then go in and attack and clear out a battlefield, and then you can pay one to ready her. Even maybe play another unit if you have enough runes in that case. And then, you know, play another unit, repeat, and all that jazz. Now, of course, yeah, that's a lot of runes that you're going to need to have out for that. But still, there is a lot that you could do with this, and just a whole ton of movement in general that can be added to this game. And again, we've already seen what Yasuo can do in our set, and he has insane movement and abilities, able to score so fast. And instead of paying 2 to be able to move, you pay and recycle 1 to go ahead and ready it. That's insane. So, you know, a little bit of risk and reward. Would you rather pay 2 with Yasuo's Unforgiven legend ability, or would you rather pay 1 recycled and be able to do the same thing? And again, the weight of that is going to be really interesting to see, but it's going to be cool because now we have that choice. Do we want to go more towards just the regular 2 cost, or do we want to go more towards the risk of power? We still don't know if, you know, the green-purple color combination is going to have abilities to make gold in this case, and so that's going to be something to keep in mind as well. And this is something where seals, especially, you know, the purple seals in this case, even calm seals, might be going up in price to try to then be able to have you utilize Aurelia's legend ability even more. Now, guys, this again, Azir. Man, if I was not excited before, I am excited now, because man, this is going to be cool. And again, this is why I'm so blown away. I've already thought that, you know, Set 1 Origins had a lot going for it. I love the cards that they already had utilized. I felt like they did put like a couple of definitely broken cards, and cards that, you know, aren't necessarily supposed to be in Set 1. And that's why I love it, though, because it made Set 1 so much more dynamic and fun, because they were pushing that boundary. Now, of course, the danger and the caveat with that, and something we got to be careful about, is power creep. Because if they keep doing that sometimes without, you know, the correct balance of things, at least, then in 4 or 5 sets, the power creep will go absolutely astronomical. That's one thing we got to be a little bit careful about, because we did see that in Runeterra with like Elder Dragon coming in, and, you know, the power creep of that towards the end just went absolutely parabolic, and it got crazy fast. So much so that they did actually end up banning Elder Dragon in that case, and, you know, a couple other things as well. But we're not talking about that. So back on this. This is going to be interesting. Azir, Emperor of the Sands. First and foremost, of course, if you didn't know, yeah, he is going to be green and yellow. Calm and order is what he is going to be representing, and a lot of scariness at that. Your Sand Shoulders have Weapon Master, meaning that they can get things equipped, and we've already seen a lot of things be able to be equipped. And so, man, this is going to be insane. And you go ahead and pay 1 and tap it to play a 2 might Sand Soldier unit token to your best, or to your base, and use only if you've played an equipment this turn. So you go ahead and you play out an equipment, cool, and then you go ahead and play a 2 might Sand Soldier, so even maybe a little bit better of a victor in this case, and you do have all the tokens that you are going to be able to utilize under order as well. So this is going to be absolutely insane. And then you have things like Imperial Decree and things of that nature as well. So you send in your 1 might units to go ahead and attack in potentially. And then after that, you can send in your more powerful equipped units to go ahead and reinforce the base. So again, a lot of dynamics here that could be very fun. And then also the green, you got Discipline, Defies, Unguards, Hourglass, all of this stuff to be able to get utilized with this color combination. And then not only that, you also have, oh my gosh, you have a lot of things that you could just go ahead and use right here. This is going to be so fun. And then of course the final 2 cards that have been revealed so far, man, this is going to be just so fun. Kim Baroness here. Now, when you or an ally hold, you may exhaust me to play a gold gear token exhausted. And when your score is within 3 points of victory score, your gold adds an additional 1. So what? So not only is it taking care of a power cost, but it also is able to go ahead and get to a rune. And that is when you are at 5 or more points. So again, there are so many different dynamics here that you are going to be able to utilize. You have Mind and Order here with blue and yellow at least, so that you are able to build out this way. And so, I mean, gosh, thinking about maybe going with Thousand Tail Watch or any of the other, blue cards that you could potentially use with yellow here. I mean, this is going to be absolutely fun. You can also even spend your gold for like a grand stratagem, keep all of your runes, able to still be used without having to go back to the bottom of your rune deck because of the 3 power cost of grand stratagem. There's a lot of really fun stuff to be able to see here. And man, this is going to be some things that shake up the meta. And sorry guys, like I am really excited because this is cool. This is cool. It is a little bittersweet that we do unfortunately not get to quite feel like we enjoy a lot of set 1. China did get to enjoy it for 2 months. But still, the fact that we are at least able to see these cards and just anticipate it is going to be really fun. And that's also kind of maybe a sad part before we get to this final card is that because of what China was able to do with getting these sets, or getting the set 2 months early before us, they even had 4 regionals before we even had the game released. And that could be little bittersweet for a lot of us out there because it's like, well, China's already defined the meta and here they go. They're going to define the meta again with set 2. And it's like, yes, that is something to definitely be, disheartened about. That is tough. We want to experience this game together. Again, though, luckily, we should be revealing and getting set 3 all together. And then from then on out, everything is going to be in sync. And that will be really good to be able to see. But in the meantime, unfortunately, yeah, this is what's going to be happening. But I'm just happy that we are getting, the next set. And so with that, it says, when you recycle a rune, you may exhaust me to play a gold gear token exhausted. When 1 or more enemy units die, ready me. And again, this is gonna be just a really fun legend, body and chaos as well. So another just super dynamic color combination to be able to have there. And then, I mean, come on. And when 1 or more enemy units die, ready me. So, I mean, you're going to be recycling some runes and whatnot, but if you do that a couple of times, cool, you're going to be able to create the gold tokens and things of that nature to, mitigate that cost, and then you build up that golden arsenal there so that you can go ahead and continue to keep your runes out for longer to be able to make your end game that much more explosive. A lot of really fun stuff there. Guys, I'm probably going to be most excited about Draven here. Just absolutely no contest there about that, but in second, I'm curious about Azir. This is going to be really fun to be able to see. And again, we're going to start seeing a very normalized releasing of cards. We might not get 18 every time. When it was like set 1, when it was getting revealed, it was going about 5 cards every Monday and Thursday. Because of China, it was like Sunday and Wednesday for that, something like that, you know, where it was like 3 to 5 cards every single time. And so it's going to be really interesting to see what continues to get revealed and what even new cards and mechanics that they hinted at but have not yet revealed. Guys, we are going to be following that the entire time here. So with that being said, if you want to see all things that are going to be Riftbound, from deck lists to card reveals and even some tournament matches and really fun dynamic gameplay, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe down in the comments below, or down in the information below. And go ahead and let me know, what are you thinking about Spiritforged so far? Are you a little sad that we are already getting these cards revealed? And are you, you know, at least a little bit excited with what is coming so far? What is your thoughts also on the equipment? Let me know down in the comments below, and until next time, guys, have a good one.